Hello everyone, this is Rich Raj. Welcome to TechFerment. In this video, I'm going to talk about Firebase authentication, specifically how we can authenticate the user with the help of Github account. So in the previous video, I have talked about Firebase authentication with Google, or you can authenticate the user with the help of custom email and password. You can check out the video I have mentioned in the video description section. So let's start how we can authenticate the user with the help of GitHub account. So here are the steps. First, you need to create a project on Firebase, and then you need to go to the authentication part and then enable the GitHub method. You have to register as your developer application on GitHub, and you will get the client ID and the client secret. And then you need to create or register a new web applications on Firebase dashboard, and then you need to copy the SDK file, and then here you need to implement the logic. So here are the few methods you can use in the Firebase authentications, specifically in the GitHub. So first, we have a method with sign in with pop-up. So whenever user will click on the login button, there will be a pop-up window for the GitHub login authentications. So here you need to pass Github Auth Provider, and then you can authenticate the user with the help of pop-up window. Or you can use redirect result method. There will be a URL redirection, and then you will jump to the GitHub authentication screen, and then you can authenticate the user, and then user will be redirected to the back to the main applications. And the third method you can use on state change. It will check whether the user is logged in or not. So like for example, if the user is logged in, so we have a details as a user as an object, and we can print the user details. Or user is not available, or in terms of user is not logged in, so we can directly jump to the logout screen. And the fourth method is you can use sign out method for log out the user. So let's jump to the demo part. Now first I'll go to the Firebase website. This is my Firebase website, and I'll go to the console, and this is my Firebase console, and here I will create a project. So I'll create a project. Let's say my project name is tf demo-github, and then I'll click on the continue button, and then this is a part for the enabling the analytics. So I'm not working on the Google Analytics part, so I'll just disable this part and then click on the create project. And meanwhile, I have also set up for the Firebase CLI for the hosting purpose. Now my project is ready. I'll click on the continue button, and this is my project console. So here we have a project console, and here I'll go to the authentication part, and then we'll go to the sign in method, or you can click on the get started button. And then you need to move to the second tab, sign in method. So here we have a sign in method is a GitHub, and then we need to click on the enable button, and here we have to pass client ID and client secret. So what I'll do, I have created a GitHub repository where we have a steps how we can authenticate the user with the help of GitHub account. So first we have to create a project, and then we need to go to the Firebase console, and then we need to enable the Firebase method for the GitHub account, and then we need to click on the register your application on GitHub. So I'll click on this particular link, or you can directly go to the github.com/settings/application/login. So here my application name, so you need to create register your application. So let's say I'll type tf-demo auth, and then here you can pass the URL. So let's say I'll passing the URL https://techferment.com, and then you can write a description. It's totally up to you. And there is a part for authorization callback URL. So you'll go to the Firebase project console, and then this is the URL. So you just need to copy this URL, and here you need to paste it here. Okay, so step is very easy. First you need to create a project, and then you need to go to the authentication and just go to the sign in method and enable the GitHub account, and then you have to go to this repository, or you can create a new application on GitHub. So you just need to go to the GitHub account, then setting, then application, and then new. So here we have an application name. Here you can type the URL, and here you need to pass the authorization callback URL. So here you can get the authorization callback URL. So I'll click register application, and this is my application is registered. So what I'll do, I'll just collect the client ID. So here is my client ID. I'll just copy this client ID and I will paste it here. Next we have a client secret, so I'll just go to the GitHub, and then we have a client secret as a section, so I'll click on generate new client secret, and then we have a client secret. I'll just copy this code and I will paste it here. So this is my client secret and this is my client ID. So I'll click on the save button, and yeah, so step is done. Now I'll go to the project overview and then click on add applications, and then we have a section for web. So here we have a web, and then we will create our applications or register our application. So I'll write tf-demo -github, and then you can select this one because I'm working on a Firebase hosting. So I'll just click on, we'll select this part and then click on register application. Okay, so now I'll go to the next button and then click on the next, and this is a formalities, and then we'll go to the project setting, and then we have scroll down, we have a web application. So we have a automatic file, CDN file, and the configuration file. So first I'll go to the VS Code editor. I have already installed Firebase CLI in my system. So I'll just log in, create a Firebase project. So initialize the Firebase project with the help of command Firebase init. So I'll type Firebase init, and then it will ask, are you ready to proceed? Yes, I'm ready to proceed. And then it will ask for the services. So I'm just want to use Firebase hosting. So I'll just select Firebase hosting and then press enter. And then it will ask for the project. You can use existing project or you can create a new project. So I'm using existing project. So I'll select the existing project, and then here we will type tf demo -github. So I'll select this one, and here you can define the public directory. It's totally up to you. And then we are not working on a single page application, so that's why we have to type and for the CI/CD part related to GitHub actions, and then we have a file. So this is Firebase configuration file for the hosting. So we have a public directory. Inside we have a 2 by default file, index.html, and folder.html. So what I'll do, I'll run this file in my local machine. So how can we run? So here we need to run Firebase serve as a command. So this is my URL. So I'll just go to the browser and I will open this URL, localhost colon 5000, and this will give me this is a web page by default, which is coming from here in the index.html. So what I'll do, I'll just remove the entire logic and I will create a web page. So we have HTML5, and then here we can write welcome to TechFerment. So I will save and I will go to the browser, and then we'll load the page, and it's working. Now what I'll do, I'll just go to the Firebase console, and then we have a CDN part. I'll just copy the CDN file and I will paste here before closing the body tag. So this is a simple code like CDN and for configuration file. Now what I'll do, I'll just go to the library. So this is a link for the library. So I'll just copy the link and I will go to this particular URL, and then we have available libraries for the authentication. So I'll click on available libraries from the CDN, and then we'll copy the authentication part as a library CDN. So I'll just copy this path and I will paste just after the Firebase main core SDK. Okay, just because we are want to use Firebase authentications. Now I'm ready to go with the GitHub related kind of thing. So what I'll do here, I will create a button. So I'll create a button for login with GitHub. So now here we can define an ID, or you can call the directly function. So let's say my function name is sign in user. Here is my functions. I can define these functions. We have a JavaScript code. Here we can create a function. So like my function name is sign in with user. and here we can write console.log and btn works. So I will save. I'll just go to the browser and just reload the page, and then we'll go to the inspect element. So here we'll go to this one part, and then we have a console, and when I click on this particular button, so we have a function is working. So now we have a first step. We need to create a auth provider for the GitHub. So we have a documentation in the GitHub. So here we have a auth provider. I'll just copy this auth provider part, and then here we will define the auth provider. So how we can create an auth provider? You just need to use new firebase.auth.github auth provider. Okay, now we need to use the pop-up window for the GitHub authentication. So what I'll do here, we have a function. So I'll just copy this function and we'll explain later. So here we have a function. So first we are using Firebase. Inside Firebase we are using authentication, and then we have a method sign in with pop-up. So there will be a pop-up window, and then you need to pass the authentication provider. So this is my provider for the GitHub, and this will work as a JavaScript promises. So if this promises is resolved, so we can handle with the help of then block. So we have a then block, and it will give you the result. Okay, so now I'm working on an ECMAScript JavaScript function. So like this will work as a JavaScript promises. So if this promise is resolved, so we can handle with the help of then block, and then we get the result. And here we can get the token, or you can print the user. So here we have a section. So we have a token and we have a user. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this logic, and here we have let or token is equal to, here we have a result dot credential dot access token. Okay, and similarly you can get the user details. So here you need to type let user is equal to, and then we have a result dot user. So I'll just write result dot user. Okay, now you can print the data. So you can print the user information. So here you can print user, that's it. And if so, this is the logic. And if this promise is not able to resolve successfully, so we can handle with the help of catch block for reject kind of things. So we have a catch block. Here we can print the error. So here we have got the error, and here we can print the error. Okay, so I'll save, and what I'll do, I'll just go to the web page and then reload the button, and then we have a login with GitHub account. So I'll click on this button, and there is a pop-up window, and you need to wait for a few seconds. Now this is a auth screen for the GitHub. So I'll authenticate the user with my GitHub account. So I'll click on Authenticate TechFerment-user. This is my GitHub username. So I'll click on this particular button, and you will be redirect, and then I'll get the details about the GitHub user. So this is my GitHub user details. Like we have an email ID, email is verified or not. So here we have a section, and then we have a like UID. So here you can get the UID. Here we have a UID, and here we have a photo URL. So you can use this information for the next part, like whenever you want to use authentic Firebase database like Cloud Firestore, Cloud Storage, or real-time database, or any other services. So this is how we can authenticate the user with the help of GitHub account. Like first we need to create a provider. So we have a provider, and then we have to call this method sign in with pop-up, and then inside we need to pass this provider. And this will work as a JavaScript promises, and this will give you the token and the user, how we can get the token. So we have a result as an object. Inside we have a credential, and then we have a access token. And similarly, you can get the details about the user with the help of result as a callback dot user. Okay, and we have few more functions, like you can call these functions. I have already logged in with my GitHub account, so I can call this one more method. This method is on auth state change method. So we can call this method directly. So we have a function, and here what I'll do, here we can write a logic check state. So that will check the state whether the user is logged in or logged out. So it will call automatically Like for example, I have already logged in, so it will give me the details about the user. So what I'll do, I'll write the console.log, and then there will be a user. Okay, so this will code automatically run, and this will check the state of the user, whether this like we will get the user as a this is right now is the normal functions. We can convert into the arrow functions. We have to use this symbol, and then this will give you the user. So if user is available, means the user is logged in, and if the user is not available, then we can go to the logic for the logout. And I'll just reload the page, and here we have a details. So here it's working. So I have already logged in. Now we can create a functionality for the logout button. So how we can create a logout button? So I'll just copy this entire logic, I will paste it here, and then here we can write the logic for logout. So here my function name is logout, and here we can write logout. So I will save, and then we need to create a function for the logout. So I'll just create a functions. So here I will create a function logout user. So we will create a function with the help of function keyword, and then we have a logout, and then here we have logic. So how we can log out the user? So we have a method Firebase Authentication, and then we have a sign out method. You just need to call this logic. So I'll just copy this logic, and I will explain later. So now this is a predefined method. Like we have a Firebase inside authentication, and then we have a sign out method, and this will work as a JavaScript promises. So if this promise is successfully resolved, so we can get the then we can handle with the then block, and here we can write a logic like console.log. Here you can write user logout success, or we can write the catch block. Here we can mention the error, so like if there is any issues, or we can print that. So I'll just reload the page. So I've already logged in, just because we are getting the data. So when I click on the logout button, so a user is logged on. So I'll just reload the page. I'm not getting the again details, just because of the user is logout. So I'll click on the login with Github account, and then this will be the pop-up window. And then we can get the details. Okay, so now here we can write a logic like here you can define the screen. So let's say login screen, or you can write login button, and here you can write ID logout button. Okay, so by default, in general case, you have to hide this particular button. So how you can hide that button? So we have a script tag, and then here what I'll do, here we'll write document dot get element by ID. So my ID is this one, and here we have ID as a logout button, and then we have write style dot display is equal to none. So by default, this button will be hidden. Okay, and this button will be visible. So this is a general case. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this logic, and I will paste it here, and here we have a login button. So this is a login button. So in general case, when the user is not logged in, so we have to show this particular button. So how we can show this button? With the help of block. Okay, so by default, login button will be visible, and logout button will be hide. And if the user is successfully able to log in, so what I'll do, so this is a login button, and then here we need to write logic. So user is logged in. So what I'll do, here need to show the logout button. So here we can write block, and here we need to write hide this particular button. So here we can write none. Okay, and similarly for logout, and here you can write the checkout state. So we have same logic, and for the logout, so here we can write the logic. So if the user is logged out, so we need to show hide the logout button, and then show the login button. So block. So I will save, and here you can also write the logic. So I'll save and just reload the button. So there is a login screen. So I'll click on the login button, and I logged in with my GitHub account, and this will give me the logout details. Okay, so then we'll click on the logout. So that's all from my end. So we have a GitHub repository here. You can check out the functions, and if you have any doubt, confusion, or questions, you can ask your question in the comment section. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.